Oh boy. Well. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the homestead. Today we are going to be messing with some plumbing. Around the corner we have a 500-gallon tote that we are going to be hooking up to the RV now that the RV is in its permanent spot. But first we have to hook up the plumbing to get it from the tank to the RV. As you can see here, I have all my stuff. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. You may do something different, but this is what we're going to do, and this is going to work for us for what we need done. All right, so I'm trying to keep it super simple. We have a 2-inch pipe, a 3/4-inch pipe, okay? We are going to come out of the tank with this fitting here. This will screw into the bottom. I'm going to then hook it into the 2-inch, which I'm going to split it into a T, okay? It's going to come out of the tank and go into a T. I want it to go to 2 different places, one for maybe a hose or something else in the future, and then one obviously to the RV. Now when I hit that T, I'm going to put another little 2-inch chunk in here, and we're going to put a on-off valve, okay? So I don't want to have to, like, you know, unhook stuff or do anything weird. If I want it to be easy to turn on and off if I had to unhook, shall I say. Okay, so I'm gonna have a turn off valve, a shut off valve on each side, and then off of that shut off valve I'm gonna come off to this little adapter here. This is gonna go on the 2-inch pipe as well, or straight out of here. I don't know what, I'll probably go to 2-inch pipe, and then that is going to reduce it down to the 3/4-inch pipe, which will go in here, and then the 3/4-inch pipe is going to come into here, which then turns this into a male hose fitting, so that way I can just hook a hose right up to it and run it. You know what I mean? Run it right to the pump and then right to the house. So super duper simple. This is a plug here for the top hole to plug that up, and yeah, I got a little handsaw and some glue. So super simple. That's what we're gonna do. So let's do it. All right, first thing we have to do though is we have to get the tank itself in the spot it's gonna go and get it level. I think this is where it's gonna go, so that way my hookups are up in the front. I have enough room to get in between the RV and the hookups. If I ever have to get down there and do anything to the plumbing, if I ever have to get to the RV, I'll have enough room in there. I'll have room to, I won't be trying to walk through here, but I'll have room to walk through over the pipe. I'll have room back here to get to the RV storage area, and then I'll take my pipe and I'll run it down, or the hose or whatever, and I'll run it all down through underneath the RV, so that way I have the least amount of trip hazards and possibilities of being stepped on, just having most of it be underneath the RV. But first we have to get this level, which I have to go way down in the front, because I think I'm going to lean it just a little bit, not a lot, just slightly towards the hookup, so that way all my water will run there. So yeah, I think that's where we're at. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to mark this area where I'm going to have it, and then I got to get that front end down a little, back end up a little, whatever the case may be. And then once we are where we want to be, we'll start hooking up the plumbing. So I think for now, I am just going to build up the layer of dirt, get out all the chunky rocks and stuff like that. I'm going to build it up rather than take it down. And then in the future, because I don't have any gravel right now, and I don't feel like going out and getting none or making any myself. So I think the dirt will be fine though. It compacts really, really nice. It don't seem to settle too much with the rain so far. But anywho, I'm going to build this up, level it that way, and then in the future, if I want to, I can drain it down, add some gravel, make a nice pad for it, you know what I'm saying, make it more permanent. But this is what we're going to do for now, so let's do it. Oh boy. Well, it's a little breezy out here today. All right, let's get a rough idea of how that's looking. Still not enough. I'm gonna have to put some more under there. Oh yeah, a bunch more. The wind would not blow for a minute. I could just get this thing to stay here. Sometimes it's a pain in the butt doing the work while she's at home. I could call a kid over here, but they're playing and having fun right now, so why bother them? Just let them be, right? I'll get it. See how much I gotta come up here. It's looking actually a lot more like level. It's almost perfectly level. Okay. So we're talking from like right here has to be built up that much. Okay, so it's actually got to come up quite a bit, but that's all right. We'll make it happen. I don't know if you guys can see this because of the shadows and everything, but I have raised this up here, half of this. I've raised it up about, I don't know, 6 inches, maybe 7 inches. It's almost like perfectly level. I'm gonna peel a little more off the front, bring it up top. As you see, I've been trying to compact it. I know I don't weigh much, but I mean it'll help. I've been compacting the layers so that way it's a little more stout. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do it 1, maybe 2 more times, and then I think we're going to be there, and then we can go ahead and start looking into hooking up all of the pipes. I think we're there. See what that looks like with the level on it. It looks and feels good. All right, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. I'm like quarter of a bubble out of level, leaning that way. It feels pretty solid on the ground over here in the front, so I don't think I'll have very much, pressure weighing it down. I am going to just jiggle it around a little, pack up these sides, probably do just a little bit at a time just to make sure everything, when I set it up, shall I say, I will put maybe 100 gallons, 50, 100 gallons in it, and then I will kind of shimmy shake it into place to make sure I don't have any front settling too much, because I don't want that front to settle too much, or we will be emptying and redoing some things. I don't mind if the back settles some, because that'll bring it down closer to level, which is no problem. I'd rather have it level or out of level to the front a little bit. That's what I'm shooting for. So I think we're there. I'm going to tighten up this bottom a little, make this look a little more nice and legit, pack it in there. All right, now that the tank is in place and where I want it to be, we're going to move on to doing the pipe fitting. I think what I'm going to come through and do is cut a bunch of 5-inch pieces. I think 5 inches in between. Once I get them jammed in there, I think that'll be good enough. Not too far, not too close. I think that's going to work. So I'm going to cut, I don't know, 4 or 5 of the 5-inch PVCs out of the 2-inch. and then we should be about ready to fit it all together. So. All right, that one got a little crooked and weird. Doing it by hand is, sometimes you have little trials and tribulations. Anyway, let's cut some better ones. All right, guys, we cut all of our pieces. Now we're back, and we are going to start right here at the tank, and I'm going to put some pipe threading on here just for extra assurance. Screw this into here, and then we will carry on from there. All right, we got some tape on there, some thread tape, and we're just gonna go ahead and screw this in. Looks like this needs tightened up a little bit itself. We're gonna tighten this up. Oh, nice and snug. We're gonna do the same with this one. I'm gonna tighten it up. Nice and snug by hand. I'm not gonna go crazy with it. All right. Right now that piece is in, thread taped. This is tight. This is tight. Now what we're going to do is we're going to move on. We're going to put a piece in here, and then we're going to connect our T right here. Now I did go ahead and run a piece of sandpaper over the tops of all these at the joints and everything that I cut, just to make sure. But I'm going to go ahead and try to get all the dirt and debris off of it before I go ahead and glue it and put it in there. All right, now all we're gonna do is we're gonna slap a little glue on both ends, you guys. A little glue in here, a little glue in here, a little glue on here. This does say it is fast drying, so I'd imagine you don't want to mess around too long, but make sure you get enough. And then we're going to slide that in there just like so. Give it a little turn and let her be. Simple as that. And again, we're going to do the same here. Clean this end off. We are going to glue both of these up real good. Real good. Real good. Don't be stingy with the glue, you know what I mean? So it's holding it all together. Put that T on there, just like that. Give it a little shimmy, a little shake. Now, if I was a professional, I'd put a level on there, make sure it was level, but we're just going to eyeball it because I'm not a professional. All right, now the next step is going to be shut-off valves. I'm going to put another piece in here and a shut-off valve on for this side, and then I'm going to do the same again for this side, and we're going to have a shut-off valve for each side. All right, as you can see here, we have everything hooked up this side to the shut-off valve. I want to point out real quick, I put enough glue in here, but I didn't go super crazy. I just put some on the rim, some on the pipe. I made sure I had enough, but I didn't want to go too much because I didn't want it to overflow into where your valve is going to be, your ball valve. And then if you get glue on there, it ain't going to open, it ain't going to work right, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't go super duper crazy. I just made sure I put enough. Now let's do this side. All right, guys, we are getting somewhere. Check it out. We have out of the tank to the T, shut off valves each side. Now I'm going to come through, and this is going to be a 2-inch that's going to reduce down to my 3/4. I'm just going to glue this on in here, and then we're going to come through, and that's where we're going to put on another little extension, and then our piece here to where our hose can fit right in. Super simple, a lot of steps to reduce down, but it is what it is, and it's going to work really good. And I'm putting these pieces in here just in case I have any issues anywhere. I have room to take it all apart, you know what I'm saying? So let's go ahead and get this all glued together, and we're going to be in there. Again, I'm just going to make sure this is clean as clean can be, dust free as can be. Same thing with the cap here. And then again, I want to get glue on here to make sure it gets glued, but I don't want to go super duper crazy, so that way it gets into my valve and messes up the function of my valve. So I'm going to take some on here like so. Just a little dip in here, all around in here. That should be good. Let's get her in there. I'm going to get her in as much as I can as I'm giving it a little turn. That's getting nice and stiff, and there it is, just like that. Simple. Now if I peek through the other side, I can see and make sure that I didn't get any glue onto my valve. So we're going to leave that open for now, so that way the air goes through, everything can dry up real nice. This says very fast setting. I'm doing it today. It'll probably be, I don't know, 2-3 days probably before the water's empty off that one, and I'm going to fill this one so it'll have plenty of time to dry, and then we just got to fingers crossed there's no leaks. All right, let's finish this piece up right here. This one I'll probably just douse this one in it good enough, and then I can go ahead and go in with it, holding pressure on the other side so I don't mess anything up, and give it a little turn. Now I'm probably using too much glue on some of this, but I'd rather use enough, too much and not enough, you know what I mean? Long as I don't plug anything up, I'll be all good to go. And just like that, man, it's done. This side's done. I'm gonna come through, do a repeat process on this side, and then we will be out of the tank, teed off to 2 separate locations, and reduced down to a hose fitting on both sides, so that way I can take a hose straight to the RV and then hose for watering stuff or anything else I want to hook up or do with this side. Then I don't have to unhook anything. It's kind of like having an outside spigot, you know what I'm saying? So let me wrap this side up, you guys, and show you the finished product. All right, guys, let me take you over here and show you what we got going on. All right, there you go. There's a better look at it. We're coming out of the tank, teed off, shut-off valve on each side, reduced down to a hose fitting on each side. Perfect, man. It's looking good. I'm going to come through now and build this up a little bit, as you can see here, for that way once this gets some water weight on it, it has something to set on. It won't just be out there all willy-nilly. So I'm going to build that up a little bit, get that sitting on there. Maybe I'll put a rock or something under there. I don't know. We'll see what we do with this. But we're going to get some stabilization up underneath there. And then we come up to the top, and this is for, I don't know, overflow or whatever the hell everybody uses it for. You can use it for different things. Look at that, I caught that. But I have a cap that is going to plug it. I'm going to leave it loose a little bit, so that way I would think a little air will be pulled through there. I don't want to, you know, put so much in there and get it kind of vacuum sealing itself or anything. I don't want any issues of any type of collapsing. I've heard of these collapsing on people because they get them airtight, and then that water pressure sucks out, and it actually will suck them in and cave them in. So I think what I'll do is leave this a little loose. That way you can pull a little air through the threads if need be. The top is on, you guys. Eventually someday, if we have something built over the top, I will bring in some rain in through the top, you guys, and catch some rain. But for now, here we are. We are all set up, ready to go, and I will come back in a couple days And then I will put some water in here, and we are going to make sure it doesn't leak. And then we're going to fill it up. And then I think we will have 500 gallons of water ready to go, which will be super duper dope and amazing. Instead of going to fill up water 2 times a month, 3 times at most, I will go fill up water probably once every month. You know what I'm saying? So not too bad, you guys. It's going to be super duper awesome. And I can't wait to get it up and going. So, yeah. All right, we are back about 2 days later. And if you can hear that, we are slowly filling, you guys. I have a little bit in the tank right now. We have to fill anyway. I have about 80 gallons in there, so in the tank right now. We're gonna put it in here, and that way I have some water in here, some pressure in here. I can make sure all my fittings are non-leaking and that way I don't have a whole bunch of water in there just in case something's wrong and I have to redo something. It's not a big deal. We had to fill up water today anyway, so yeah, that's what we're doing, man. So I figured I'd show you what we got going on. This is holding the hose in here for now, but we're filling. It's gonna be a slow process. We have a slow, tiny little transfer pump hooked up to a hose down to the bottom. And then it's hooked up to the truck for power. Eventually we want a bigger transfer pump, but that is going to work for now. So yeah, slow process for now, but eventually we will upgrade things. Bigger transfer pump, you know, I'll bring the trailer over, be shorter distance, maybe a smaller hose, I don't know. But yeah, that's what we got going on so far, you guys. All right, we are back, and this here is our second load that we are putting through it. We are almost completely full to the 500 gallon mark. We will have a little bit left over in the tote, which is no big deal. I'll throw the cover on it and we'll keep it good, and in like a week I'll go ahead and just top off the big tank. But you guys, we are in there. We now have 500 gallons of water to work with at a time, which is dope. And it didn't take me long at all to fill it, honestly. The longest part is the transfer pump right now. We have such a small one right now that the flow rate on it, I think it says, is 290 gallons per hour. So we're filling a 500 gallon tank. You do the math. But it's really not that bad. It takes way longer to transfer it right now than it does to go get it and come back. That's the longest part, but no big deal. Next time we fill, it'll probably won't have to fill for another month after this. I'll probably go ahead and pick up a bigger transfer pump, so that way I can plug it in the generator or a jackery or something like that, and I won't have to use the 12 volt transfer pump, and it'll go much quicker. But you know, we're using what we got and we're getting it done, because we don't finance, we don't spend money unless we can or want to. So that's how we're doing our project, is when we can afford it. So hopefully next time we'll be able to afford it. But that's gonna do it, guys. There it is, simple pimple. 500 gallons of water hooked up, and we are ready to go. Catch you on the next one, guys. Peace.